Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I got schooled that the skull don't mean scared. Okay, so maybe that was a bit of a stretch, but this really is a story about how me, a millennial and communications fanatic, failed a very simple "what do these emojis mean" quiz on dictionary.com. Remember the good old days when a smiley face emoji meant you were just feeling happy and smiling? Yeah, even that's different now. Dun dun dun! Up first, we have the skull emoji. Yes, this is the one that very much appears to be the bones underneath a person's skin on their head. Yes, that was the most straightforward way I could think of to explain which one I'm talking about. Now, if you thought skulls were about scary things or reserved for Halloween, you could just think again, apparently, because Gen Z uses them as a symbol for, get this, laughter. The skull emoji was added to Emoji 1.0 in 2015, and I use it as a way to say I'm very exhausted, and I use it in a very playful manner. For example, I, as a millennial, might say, just finished working out. Cause of death? Spin class. Skull emoji. Now, Gen Z, they're more likely to respond to a joke with a line of skull emojis, as in just a bunch of them straight in a row. Now, what's an example of what they might mean? They are dying with laughter, or I'm dead from laughing. So perhaps you could even throw in a headstone emoji for good measure. See a funny show last night? Say what it is, and then put a line of skulls, because clearly that means it was hilarious. Up next, we have our second installment. This is the clown face emoji. Yes, the best way to describe this one is an accidental encounter with makeup as a toddler. So millennials, like myself, I would describe this emoji to mean, well, to mean the face of a clown. But apparently Gen Z knows what's up and can explain this in a more creative usage. They use the clown face emoji as a universal symbol for someone who is acting or saying something incredibly foolish. So on social media, for example, just someone might quote a hot take they disagree with and respond with a straight line of the clown face emoji. Yes, we are already detecting a pattern. Gen Z really likes to press the same emoji button many times and then send it in response to a comment. You can also use the clown face emoji to describe your own acts of foolishness. For example, I really just gave my toddler spaghetti while he was wearing a white shirt, clown face emoji. Now, I think that millennials are more likely to use the emoji with the face palm depicted, because if I were to say, give my cat SpaghettiOs to eat and she got it all over her fur, I would absolutely put the face palm emoji and maybe a few others, because that would be absurd. Number 3, the loudly crying face emoji. You know what this one is. It's not the cute one with the frown and one small little tear. No, this is the one with the closed, scrunched eyes, the big oh no face, and tears actually streaming from both eyes. Little rivers, if you will. Once upon a time, millennials used this emoji to indicate, well, loudly crying. You know, extreme sadness, frustration, or maybe even just, relief from something that's gotten you very stressed out. And while that makes a whole lot of sense, when Gen Z uses it, it actually doesn't mean there's going to be tears involved. For Gen Z, this emoji is more exclusively used to indicate positive feelings. So completely the opposite from the millennial usage. Gen Z will use this like when something is so funny, cute, or sweet that it's totally overwhelming. So for example, Check out my kitty cat wearing her Halloween costume to look like a dog. Insert loudly crying face emoji. I think us millennials will most recognize this following reference. I believe this emoji is the AIM days of raffle or rolling on the floor laughing. Number 4, the grinning face with sweat emoji. This is your open mouth happy face emoji with one drop of sweat glistening in the upper right brow area of the face. It's been part of Unicode since 2010, and millennials use it for, well, situations that would actually make you have a glistening drop of sweat on your brow. Like maybe if you're working out or talking to a crush or studying fastidiously for finals. However, we're talking Gen Z, and Gen Z loves their sarcasm. So for them, this emoji is a depiction of a very popular meme. The meme that shows the cartoon dog sitting in a room burning, flaming, fire everywhere. And it simply reads, "This is fine." Well, apparently that's what this grinning face with sweat emoji means to Gen Z, as they use it sarcastically, meaning, I'm stressed, but I'm fine. So perhaps an example of this would be, guess who has 8 interviews on their agenda today? Insert grinning face with sweat emoji. Moving on to number 5, the thumbs up emoji. Yes, this is simply a depiction of one putting their thumb towards the sky and coiling in the other 4 fingers to signal, okay. Well, at least that's what millennials would use it to mean. They could even use it to mean good job, or I got this, or okay, cool. You know, things that make sense, that are very straightforward. But another trend arises here where we see Gen Z preferring to use it ironically. Is the thumbs up emoji still always a good thing? Well, Gen Z would say no. And in the 2020s, it's likely if you get this emoji that you're receiving a sarcastic or passive-aggressive good job on something you messed up or botched, or even a sure whatever in response to something that you've said. Either way, it's more of a negative than a positive, and something that you don't really want to receive. An example might be, thanks for telling so-and-so about her surprise party. Insert sarcastic thumbs up emoji here. Number 6, the folded hands emoji. Yes, this emoji is one that has been the topic of great debate. It depicts 2 hands palm to palm and shows 2 sleeves with blue cuffs attached. Therefore, some people see it as a high five, while others surmise that the 2 hands belong to the same individual, therefore it could be perhaps praying. Now, as a millennial, I see this as praying, saying, oh, please let this happen. Oh, I'm sending good vibes, or I'm praying for you. However, again, while Gen Z is going to use this a different way, they're going to use it to say thank you, or indicate that they're hoping that something will happen. For example, oh, I'm such a Swiftie. Tell me there's an extra Taylor Swift show concert ticket for me, with the folded hands emoji, meaning, oh, I'm hoping. Now, a millennial might instead put the fingers crossed emoji. Oh, I'm hoping, I'm sending good vibes. So this is definitely something that means thank you or I hope, not I'm asking for. Number 7, eyes emoji. Yes, as simple as it sounds, this is a depiction of 2 eyeballs looking to the left. I first joined to the emoji world in their 1.0 edition. That was in 2015. It was meaning something slightly different, however, than it is used for today. Again, as a millennial, I would use this emoji to be a symbol for giving someone the suspect eye. You know, if someone said, what's that strange car doing out front? I would put the eyes emoji. Something maybe that's creepy or something's up, something's not quite right. I'm suspicious of that. Now, sometimes it's used in that way still. However, it's more commonly a sign of interest in a positive way and attentiveness. So in 2022, it means I'm listening or tell me more instead of, ooh, I'm terrified that might be a dangerous person in that car. Quite a different meaning, especially if you see it something say, I heard that John Crist got canceled. Eyes emoji. So John Crist is a comedian and went through this very public display of a few things that maybe weren't so keen in his personal life. Now, if I said that and put the eye emoji, I would mean that I thought it was strange or I thought something was off with that information in some way. However, Gen Z is going to mean they want to hear all about it. Extra, extra, hear all the deets. Spill all that tea. Moving on to number 8, the hourglass emoji. Gen Z has a thing, and I mean a big thing, for the emoji hourglass, but not to indicate anything to do with time or what an hourglass does in its functionality. Other generations might use this to mean a more straightforward time is ticking or you're on the clock. Gen Z, however, uses it when someone is attractive. While that might not make a whole lot of sense, I will also add that it is a classic hourglass, so think hourglass figure. So it's really someone is attractive and they are trying to depict perhaps their body shape with the shape of this hourglass. So an example is perhaps a woman says, I need to find a dress for the party on New Year's Eve that makes me look, and insert hourglass emoji. So in a sense, it means hot, attractive, or sexy. That brings us to number 9, the pregnant woman emoji. This is very similar to the hourglass emoji in that it has taken on a second meaning with Gen Z. And while a millennial means simply that is a person impregnated with a baby, no, Gen Z, they're meaning it to say someone is very hot. If someone reacts with this emoji, it could mean the subject matter is so attractive it made the person responding pregnant. So it's sort of like if you see something you find very attractive, you could become impregnated with an idea per se, or it could even be impregnated with desireful thoughts towards someone. So it definitely has a bit of a span there, but no longer does it simply mean someone with the baby bump. Number 10, the upside down face emoji. This is simply a 2-eye, rounded mouth smiley face that is turned upside down. Now, it's not just something silly or something that for a millennial would mean, oh, I'm just being silly, I'm just being funny, ha ha ha, life is good. Rolling around on the floor is really the vibe you get here from that as a millennial. However, for the Gen Z generation, that is going to be used when things aren't going well or you're having a terrible day. So it's absolutely more definitively represented with this emoji. The modern usage is an update to the millennials usage. So instead of sarcasm or silliness, the new meaning is more literal of an upside down smiley face and much more straightforwardly means instead of being happy, I'm upside down of that. I am opposite of that. So an example might be, my flight just got canceled on Christmas Eve with an upside down face emoji. Welcome to number 11. The slightly smiling face emoji. Yes, this is your typical happy face. Think the Walmart rollback happy face. 2 eyes and a closed smiling mouth. If you're happy and you know it, well, don't send this emoji. While the slightly smiling face emoji was once just the symbol of joy, the quintessential meaning of pure happiness, it's used differently these days, just like all these other examples. And again, Here we see another trend occurring. This emoji is used now ironically. It seems Gen Z just really has a distaste for using emojis in any sort of straightforward manner, much more cryptic. So today, this slightly smiling face emoji might indicate a fake smile, such as when you'd display in awkward situations or when you're feeling uncomfortable. This might be a great one for time to meet my Aunt Edna, who gives the biggest wet kisses. I sit next to her at the Thanksgiving dinner table this year. Slightly smiling face emoji. It puts a sarcastic tone on that whole phrase. The kissing face emoji. This is the emoji with 2 open eyes and a number 3 mouth. This is the emoji for giving a kiss, for whistling. If you answered yes, I have a feeling you're not a Gen Z member. For those younger and hipper crowds, this kissing face emoji means ooh, cool, or sounds good to me. It's something you would use in response to making plans, for example. Something you might use to say, oh, that's a good idea. Or if it's a photo of something you really like, you might put that face on there. So if someone was perhaps giving an option between a coffee date and a dinner date, someone might say, oh, I prefer the dinner date. And the other person would respond, okay, that's perfect. Kissing face emoji. Now, if you're a millennial, that means, oh, that's a date. If you are Gen Z, it just means, oh, they made a plan. On to our last installment, number 13, the heart emoji. A quite simple depiction of a heart. Not anatomically, but more like the suit in a deck of cards. Hearts are universal symbols for love, right? But apparently younger generations, specifically on TikTok, are using fairy comments, they call them, or hard speech, it's called, combined with what they say is a soft emoji to lessen the blow of basically an insult. For example, this classic heart emoji might be paired with the word no. That creates a meaning that means, no, sorry, good try though. So, millennials everywhere should realize that this doesn't really always mean I love you, and really, in fact, could mean a softened version of the opposite. So, as a millennial, I love skinny jeans. However, a good example here is what Gen Z might say. Skinny jeans are still cool, right? No. Heart emoji.